My name is Alama Sao, and I'm the founder of the Arizona Association for Pacific Island Culture and the director of the South Pacific Islands Festival. I actually started off wanting to do a pop-up market that was island themed, and I wanted to open it in conjunction with Moana 2 that came out in November of last year, pull from a lot of the experiences that we have selling malasadas, which are Hawaiian Portuguese-style donuts, and that kind of just flourished into the festival when in April of last year, the previous owners were looking to hand it off to somebody else. So I was speaking with my family and we all decided it was a good idea. We applied for it, we got it, and that was in the summer of last year. And what was supposed to be just a little pop-up market turned into a festival that had thousands of people. I didn't actually get to experience and enjoy the festival itself. And when I was talking to other event runners, they were telling me the same thing, that it's all gonna fly by you and you're not really gonna know what happened because you're so hyper-focused on the one thing in front of you at that time. There were a lot of times that I had people come up to me during the festival thanking me for having the Pacific Island Festival there, because I had some people that I met through this process that they lived in Chandler for 13 years. And they said this is the first thing that they've ever seen where it was their culture and it was on display for everybody to see. And how they were so happy they had kids who are in high school and middle school, and they were proud to show their friends their culture too. And a lot of those moments made me feel like this was all worth it. When I was really fulfilled with this festival, which I didn't expect to be fulfilled by, when people were telling me that there was something for their children. And I don't have kids of my own, so even hearing that their kids were so proud to see their culture on display for everybody, and not just on display as like a theme, but for people to learn from. We wanted to make sure that our festival was differentiated by emphasizing culture as much as entertainment and food. Because when you go to festivals, the crowd pleasers are entertainment and food, merch, vendors, but we wanted to make sure that we had an equal emphasis on cultural education. And so hearing people tell me thank you for that. As far as what I envision the nonprofit to be and the festival, I'm hoping that the festival is more of just a launching pad for other things that we want to pursue in the future. With Pacific Islanders, and I guess this would be with quite a bit of first generation Americans, a lot of us aren't going to go back to our homeland. And if we do, it might just be a one-time in your lifetime trip. And that is the unfortunate reality, but we want to, instead of just saying, you know, it's sad that they can't experience their homeland in the country or island that they're from, bringing what we can to them so they can experience it. And that's what I was saying, is a one-day event is cool and all, but we want something to be more sustaining or sustainable. We wanted the festival to be in April, this past April. And by the time we were up and running with our nonprofit and had our interview with the city of Chandler, that was the middle of November. So we had the middle of November until April to really plan everything. Unfortunately, my dad passed away at the end of December of last year. So right after I put out the call for applicants, things had to take a back seat for a few weeks while we were planning his funeral and dealing with everything that came with that. So it was really more like the end of January until the early part of April that we had the bulk of all the planning. For Pacific Islanders, for such a long time, we've been looked at as entertainment. And if you look for Hawaii specifically, I know that there's been a lot of talk about cultural appropriation with the way that Hawaii is viewed through the lens of Hollywood, either through dance or through sports, football specifically, wrestling. And one thing that we want to also emphasize is that we're more than just that. My dad was really big on making sure that we knew who we were. And not for just himself, but he made it a point to go back to Samoa at least once a year from the time that I can really remember, to make sure that he kept the bonds in Samoa strong, just in case anything ever happened, we needed to go back. So even to this day, I have family, first cousins there, aunts and uncles there as well. But if we ever needed to go back for any reason, we'd be welcomed there with open arms, even though I've never lived there. I've been there a few times, but because he made sure to keep the culture in us strong, that's something that we want to continue for everybody else. Our culture is rooted in service. There's a Samoan saying that translates to the pathway to leadership is through service. And everything that we do should, in its purest form, be rooted in serving others. And I also think that we have a unique culture as far as how welcoming we are with other people. A lot of people tell me like, oh, you guys are so welcoming, I feel like family. And we want to make sure that that's also a part of everything that we do. And we don't want this next generation to lose that.
We go, Alama Sao on the weekend clean yard. If we don't go, grandma gotta work hard. You know my grandma like to pour it real sour. I love my grandma every minute, every hour on the island.